Howdy, people of the internet. Hope everybody is doing very well. I've had a long day, basically. But today, as you can see in the title, I'm bored. Nothing else to do. And I'm going to do the YELLLEN quest. I've already started a little bit. I know I didn't mean to, but it just happened. I was trying to do expedition rewards, and then the quest came on. I don't know. It was being stupid. So I did a little bit, not even much at all. Like literally the first character is like, "Oh, you should meet with somebody." And I was like, "Okay, I exist. Let's go meet him." And that's it. Who? I don't know. We'll find out. So, alright, we ready? So I am itchy as crap right now. Let me stop itching. Alright. Boom. I haven't done anything just in case. Haven't played Genshin all day. Let's get it. Well, it's loading. It's taking its time loading. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, Oh, so Zhongling. Zhongli. Don't you glare at me. Where's the audio? Where's the voices? Is there supposed to be voices? Pleasures. Okay, turn on music. What is this quest and why am I already here? Someone tell me. My character's so out of it. I don't like Zhongli quest without his voice. I need his voice, bro. It's a need from Zhongli. The whole arm is like peeling right now. Really, it's trying to, anyways. Can we? I really don't care about his story and straight total. I would care less. Please. Please. I don't care. I'm sorry, but I don't. Truth or Illusions. Yep, I'm cool. Here you go, Zhongli. I can give you stuff. Yay. Stuff. Thanks. Stuff. Thanks. Yep. Cool. Cool. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I know what we're talking about. Yep. Sure. Chasm. Start King Chasm. Okay, this is interesting. Cool. I actually read that one. Wow. What is that supposed to do? I don't even know. Yay! What'd I do? I did literally nothing. Ooh, mail. Okay, I know. What was I gonna do? First thing, my login stuff. Mamma mia, three, mamma mia, pizza. Oh yeah, okay. Boom. Yell. Alright, yeah, so we have to. We met some dude, and then they said meet some with this dude. We were like, okay, that's it. So we're going up here now. Hey guys, can I not?
Uncle Tien, we're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Oishi, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea?
Should do that. You slave.
I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond redemption.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving advice, so a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible in their assessment and appointment. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Oh? Who is it?
Yellen.
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
Hello, Yellen.
It's Yelan!
It's Yellen. I don't care what the crap you say.
Jackpot.
Yellen.
Uncle Tien here asked me to
Yellen.
assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for
Sure,
you.
bored.
What do you think?
What you mean, what I think? Good on Tanny.
Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with an.
All right then.
Yeah. Wow, you read the
Though,
room,
I gotta
didn't you,
say, Uncle
Paimon?
Tien, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the...
no.
Yelan, you
Yell
want
it.
to be the next
Oh,
Qian?
correct you every
I'm
time.
not opposed to the idea, but I
We can see
suspect
Ning Wong
Ningguang
now.
wouldn't
I wanna
let
see
you
Ning
go
Wong.
very
Can I see Ning
easily
Wong now?
after.
She's
So
cool.
how about this? If you're in bed,
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessment. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready.
What's the point?
Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment,
She's the owner? Cool. She's the owner of that house that have like been guarded this whole time? Cool.
you're all set?
No. No.
Uncle Tien seems really worn down. It's like all his
Dead
energy
inside. My
gone.
mom has like no
Yeah,
emotion.
it
She
may
has like
sound harsh,
motion.
but Uncle Tien
I
is past his
have no
prime.
emotion.
He's not cut out for this
Emotion.
anymore.
That's an emotion.
So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Mean quackers. Very good. Can I play that? Can I really? You can't really get the second character. How are you supposed to get her though? Am I stupid? Okay, I don't know. Or Shinobu, like. Sorry, I'm like watching anime on the side, by the way. What am I doing?
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it would be better than nothing.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. Well, I've split it into 2 stages. Current affairs. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
I'm not paying attention whatsoever.
One of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each... I'll be waiting off to the side.
So what am I doing? Okay, attack Z.
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets.
What do you think, YELLLEN?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Or could you?
We can talk more after the
Could I be
interviews.
the next one?
We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
See Chenwei in, right?
Oh? So you 2 are the assessment officers, are you?
Hello.
I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing 2 entirely unfamiliar faces.
Well, guess what? I'll
I
beat you
trust
up
you've read through
in
my
3
manifesto.
seconds.
I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about.
Yeah, what do you
With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the
some questions. YELLLEN tells him to fetch.
Oh. Is it my turn?
Mingbo?
Yes.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded. My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Pine?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on.
Oh, okay.
He's aight. He's fine. He did nothing. What's this?
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, two different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach two very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results,
God,
I would take
boring.
responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
Thank God.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thought.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. But he is very proud and Mingguo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can but he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingguo.
Perfect summary. Paimon.
Last but not least, Zhi. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tian's. Having someone like Zhi take the position would...
Great.
We'll see.
This is a very boring quest, by the way, so far. I'm not kidding.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Zhi's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now. Those three candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they should. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Zhi was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa. So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tian?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work. As for Zhi, that was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Zhi came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student and a fast learner. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quiet. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see. But it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire. spend my days doing what old men like me should be doing. Going fishing whenever I feel like it.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tien.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time. Ooh, and freshly caught fish, they make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fresh fish soup. Sounds tasty.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Juri purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman. When we've been fishing recently, Juri always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. The addition of that flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to take.
Ooh, can Paimon come next time?
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tien, we've reported.
Had you not asked me what this decision must be guided, remember.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. So, it's gonna be Juri, right? His manifesto was written well.
Easy. Let's not.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different For example...
Yes?
Lady YELLEN, what are your...
Did they scare you? These, as my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. Shanghua is a business expert.
That meathead must have been out there on...
Nothing.
Shanghua, visit all the
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri. Well, obviously, as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves. Let's go to the dock.
If we're looking for... He does... Huh? What's Polite doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes that.
I will.
I accidentally
have
dropped one into a
300.
well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so...
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead.
Okay, well, when you put it that way... Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family. He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and...
Oh, he sounds like a decent...
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... Ah, that's Juri right over there. Why don't we go and talk
Where?
She's like, you stupid looking.
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
What are you waiting for? We won't hear anything at this rate.
Sorry, I'm watching something right now. It's very interesting. Hold on. One memento. It's at like a very crucial part of this anime, and I have to watch it. I am sorry. Here, you can just watch her hum.
The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
Okay, I guess we can.
Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be.
Bruh, I don't want to sneak.
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me. Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan?
We shouldn't jump to conclusions.
Do we have? Wait! You're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianchu yourself, are you?
Maybe I am. Maybe you'll be able to try all the finest food for.
We will? Well, come on!
Shut up.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers.
Right.
Let's see what
After
Uncle
this
Soon has to
quest,
say.
I'm going to bed. Or going to play, like... Beat Saber, I'm going to bed, bro. Bro, this hoe is freaking...
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
It's...
Sorry
boring.
to interrupt. We're actually
tired.
members of the Liyue Anglers Association,
Yep, I
and
am.
we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Jur-E, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
Whoa! YELLLEN made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid!
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so too!
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Wow, she switched identity again!
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Jur-E who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently. Do you know anything about this?
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. And he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
It's not gonna affect mine. Oh.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once briefly. and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he
He's
has pretty low
dog.
self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to
Stupid.
say anything.
He's
What he's
dumb.
achieved already puts most people to shame. And nobody's
a
perfect.
stoopy head.
I just wouldn't want to upset him.
He's a poopy
That's all.
head.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's
The more times you say,
Doesn't have.
Hey, it's you guys. Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah.
What's the
Honored to
phrase?
meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
No, you
But
can't.
of course, we also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes with questions.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of jury. For example, I can't remember. Probably 'cause it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Jir-Yi seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gao spoke highly of him, and Dugu Shuo seems to like him too.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost...
Sudden? Too good to be true?
So he returns cruelty with kindness. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the reaction I would expect from any normal person. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So why are these stories only going around now?
When you put it like that, it is kinda strange.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he had... Right. And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixing. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be closest to the truth.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. What should we do? Even if we asked Jiri about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues. Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in Jur-E's manifesto on who we're dealing with. Come on, let's get back to Yanshang Tea House. Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up will be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. When we're finished, we'll put our heads together. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tian might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that he's one of his favorite students. Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious.
Checking zone.
Well...
Read chapter C.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yellen's little helpers, Shanghua! If you're back, that means you finished investigating Qianwei, right?
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your findings.
Yes, Lady YELLEN. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult, but here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Qianwei's accounts are open to the public. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora, but instead...
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh? How come you're here?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills and am always one step ahead of the competition. Well, when you're the competition, at least.
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before you. Lady YELLEN, I have finished investigating Mingbua.
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else overlooks.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbua at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Mingbua is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the Ministry often gets Mingbua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the Ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbua gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't seen it for myself, though.
Whoa, that's hard to imagine.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah, so that's what you meant by that. I'm starting to get it now.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the manifesto?
We still have a bit left.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entries. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Chengshu Pool redevelopment plan. Chengshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Chengshu Pool. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. the ruin was completely impenetrable. The technology wasn't mature. Jur-E's manifest still.
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of the manifesto? Oh, yeah!
Did he now?
Does that mean the Black Cliff?
No, not likely. They do possess some still. Since the clue...
Shenwei and Mingbo both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
This is the Black Cliff Forge. Let's look around for...
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean? Strange how?
Just, stuff that when it happens, you think to yourself, huh, that was weird.
Huh?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere asking questions like that. Let's just take a look around.
What am I on?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think? These newcomers, who could have sent them?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted to team leader. At this rate, by the time the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find underground. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jur-E recommends the Black Cliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key
this
staff.
quest is kind of
And
dog.
even if we decided to vet the staff
It is so
individually,
boring.
they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identity. That's the advantage of it.
When you put it like that, so who's
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that.
This was so boring.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the newcomers.
You want them to teach you, or I gotta say, my only complaint, I guess they just need some time to adjust.
They go out.
You got that right. It rained after work today, so they actually. Hey, you're only young once, right?
Interesting.
Bro, you can just walk like a few feet
Looks
ahead.
like our hunch was drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some covers. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but let's follow them and...
They went that away. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned house.
Hold on, hold on.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. But all the evidence has been destroyed. Look at these ashes.
Could there be anything left? Maybe
The odds of that are—
Why don't we wait for the—
we can't count on. To me,
Darn!
make no mistake, I smelled some— Those newcomers probably thought they'd be—
Really? Paimon can't smell anything. Do you smell anything?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate, where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. the but it's all I need. Now,
Lady YELLLEN! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyu. I sent him to look into Jur-E's I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. Fortunately, someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my clothes.
Well, Uncle Tien said that Jur-E once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything about that at all?
What? That's news to me. No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady YELLLEN, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman out there, and none of them mentioned anything about a recipe.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup? What fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Jur-E, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so
No, we'll still need to tail him.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his. Be sure to arrive on time.
Sorry for no commentary. I just don't feel like commentating on such a boring quest. There's nothing to commentate. It is very boring and straight honest.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tien entrusted me with the monumentally important task of assessing the candidates. And now, it falls to me to give him a satisfactory answer.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush, just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into testy exchanges with other people. Mingguo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough, and because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board, and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue. After much consideration, I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue Qixing.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become keenly aware of your great talents. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you will work hard and make Uncle Tien proud.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order. Would anyone like to join me?
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, Traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that if you can't answer that,
Oh no, if we get stuck here...
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally...
Lady Yelan, Zhi has gone towards...
Follow him.
Following.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tien thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
Sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to...
How the heck did he manage to... I guess Zhi didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired.
But how?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget, if I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tien, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Xinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to... So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Xinyue kiosk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch... Let's go to Xinyue Ki...
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in.
Our customers are free to dress how...
Okay, fair enough.
Well, maybe I did, but it's...
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one...
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up...
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor... And...
Where to?
Shigu Antique.
Yua Kiosk. The place to go for classic Yua dishes.
Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a wanware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was. So we just had to come and take a look for ourselves.
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know.
Zhi picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and feel of a luxury item. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Zhi has taken one, I'm afraid it may encourage the price to go up a little.
Don't worry.
For this set...
Okay.
Well, don't take too long.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grandmaster.
It's not like you did.
My specialty is
YELLEN!
Oh, if we can...
If so...
What do you mean?
First of all, if he was just looking to sell it... No. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor. Now, where might we find...
Fatui
have both locations surrounded.
Lady YELLLEN, is it time for us to make our...
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Zhi may be, in which case, we don't need to change.
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Zhi...
But Lady YELLLEN, if we get caught...
I'm well aware. But don't you see? Zhi is gambling everything on this. Stick to your orders. And make sure we're covering all other bases, too.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady YELLLEN. Zhi may...
I'll be waiting for you at the tea. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place Zhi mentioned in his manifesto.
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible choice, I'll give them that. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to worry about being seen.
Oh no, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is correct, we just might hit the jackpot this time. This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me. There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of the workers left an emergency access route. If we can find it, this will be a much easier journey. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance needs to be taken out quickly and quietly. We don't want to attract too much attention.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your 3 little helpers at?
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford to wait for them, but they'll join us later.
Shine down!
Busted! Take it easy. As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
Ambassador here to meet Jui? That must be the emergency
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Useless. There is no escape. Game's up.
Gotcha.
Illusion shattered. Circle. Torn to oblivion.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
There is no escape!
Busted! Take it easy. Things are about to get dicey. Take it easy. Take it easy. The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues. Take it easy.
The door is open. Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Let's light it up! Illusion shattered! Get out of here! I'm going in! There is no escape! Inazuma shines eternal! Here comes the
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you. You'll get there. You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already, I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers to... I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate all, but I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poison. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible... what was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result. How did you think of that?
It struck me one day when I was fishing.
You have performed excellently, aside from Qingshu Pool.
Don't worry. Whatever
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's what a nasty guy.
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qingshu Pool. It's been a real headache for me. But soon, everything will be taken care of. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey.
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu, no matter how hard I work. The only way is for you to shine bright in the
Yes, under normal circumstances, just look at your two competitors. Qianwei had wealth. Mingbo had reputation. But you? And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home.
Yes, I cannot...
Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to...
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand... How well this goes for us depends on how...
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood.
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring...
Whoa, this is the good stuff. Huh? Jur-E.
You seem surprised, Mr.
You...
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the three... I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives.
What?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin. But things didn't quite go to plan. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to It explains why you acted alone. Well, of course, none of that will have anything to do with...
Jur-E, do you really think... After I...
A record? Oh. Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a... Sweet dreams.
did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, we were here the whole time and have pictures of everything.
The game's up? Forgive me, I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually—
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is a step. Nothing else you wanted to add?
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. I should've— You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, YELLEN.
Your point being—
When I take office, I don't deny that I used underhanded methods.
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be able to deceive yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tian ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you may have started out with, you threw it away in that moment.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tian was always going to give you this opportunity. Even if you'd done nothing at all. Out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup with—
That's enough!
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan. But you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jur-E these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. I'll have someone remove the explosives.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the professionals. Don't worry, as long as they're willing to cooperate, get some rest.
There is now no...
Dr. Baishu.
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine. It's good we caught it in time.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom seen point? Unfortunately for them.
Uncle Tien will be heading off now.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve this situation. Yes, the exhaustion.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, YELLEN!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position. But Qianwei and Mingbo both have potential.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalty.
Is it just Paimon, or is
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have appointed me. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for assessment.
Yes, to be quite honest, when I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I secretly investigated him. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives. In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things. What I really admired about Zhi was his intelligence and resilience.
I have to admit, he's a smart guy, and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Zhi was still extreme. He chose that He also installed it afterwards.
But that's still...
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in...
How is...
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei, still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him...
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested him?
Yes, Zhi's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this one... But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting. I thought...
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately...
Uncle Tien? YELLEN? What are you talking about?
Zhi colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. With Yusupov in our hands, and a statement from Zhi, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much?
So, okay.
We got halfway, but when we tried to make contact with Theo...
the Fatui must be spying on us.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger, Regrator... The Fatui's main forces aren't constant. It's a pity that Theophan got away.
I have to ask, YELLEN. I remember you showed some interest a few days ago.
Oh, that. I prefer my current... Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes... Alright.
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tien.
Add Astro.
I just noticed I had my mic off this entire time. Whoopsie daisy. I'm sorry. Just did a whole outro and everything. Alright, let me redo what I did. Very good quest. Figured out Shinobu had a hangout session coming soon. Ito's coming out. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good evening, morning, or night. And I'll see you guys whenever I'll stream again. Bye bye.